We good?
Yep. Episode 14, Andrewcast. Again, we are joined by Jeremy Joseph, creator of Joseph Media House. What's good, bro? What's
Bro,
happening?
a lot of stuff has been going on. I
Yeah.
just revamped my website,
I see.
and what's crazy is I'm not gonna ruin it yet, but I have like 2 secret projects coming up. I feel like DJ Khaled, with the Drake vocals, and like when he made he's making this new album that's coming out, and it's like top secret. So, but like tomorrow I'm meeting with a different company, and we're merging as a partnership. I have a mutual friend of ours. We're gonna start something next year. It's actually in the drawing boards right now, so we're gonna let it marinate a bit for like at least 10 months and build up a portfolio before we do anything. So yeah, that's that. I also 2 friends of mine from high school, Luke and Chris, we just reconnected and we've been shooting a lot. You've seen our stuff. I just got into skateboarding stuff, like all filming and shooting and stuff like that.
So what exactly do they do? When they skateboard, are they like going and doing tricks? Or
They're doing tricks and stuff like that, cruising around town and stuff like that.
Do they ever run into any like security and stuff? Because that's like the number one.
Well, when we first did it, what was funny was, here's a funny story. We decided our first part of the shoot, we were going to go to Penn's Landing. And we're going to have my buddy Chris do some tricks and we'd get some shots because my other buddy Luke, he's a photographer as well. So he had his camera, I had mine. We were just shooting him doing tricks.
Yeah.
And Penn's Landing, if you've never been there, they have a lot of steps and railings, which is perfect for skateboarders. But there weren't any skateboarders, which was weird at first. I was like, why aren't there any skateboarders? This is like the perfect location. 15 minutes into the start of the shoot, he loses his board into the Delaware River.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, and it fell into the water.
So he was doing a nose grind, and he miscalculated, I guess, and it slipped under him. So he caught his balance and like stepped off, but next thing you see is like the board fly out into the Delaware.
Are these the same guys you're working with now, though?
Yeah, these are new collaborators. So obviously, my first collaborator was with you, with Andrewcast and stuff like that, and Joseph Media House, which is cool. But also from podcasts and videos, I wanted to do more photography and stuff like that. And I needed some people who I didn't need to, see if I had to train them or like touch up on stuff and stuff like that. Like they knew what they were doing. Yeah. So I was like, all right, these guys are awesome. And they do great work.
Well, you're moving more into video now.
Like, yeah, which is crazy.
How long have you been editing on Premiere is what I'm curious about.
On Premiere?
Yeah.
Like I just restarted doing it, but I used to do it in high school. Because I was part of the AV club. We used to do like these kind of like these news and school news type stuff. Yeah. Like
so you didn't use Final Cut in the AV club, you used Premiere.
I actually used Premiere. Everything was all Adobe. Okay. Because we had the entire Adobe suite in high school. Like what's crazy, my high school, like when I entered in high school, they received this huge grant from the state. So the tech teacher, the head of the tech department, he got rid of all PCs in the computer. Literally no PCs were found. All Macs, brand new at the time, back in like 2008, 2009. And everything, he bought the full Adobe Cloud, Creative Cloud at the time for all the computers. Literally every computer for teachers and students, which was dope. I had the interest of doing like specifically just graphic designs at first, but then I got into photography and then video. And what's awesome, this dude was his name was Kurt Robinson, my tech teacher, and he was like, bro, you have a lot of talent. What I'm gonna do is every day after school, if you want, you don't have to, come by, chill in the computer lab and just work on tutorials. I'll give you a tutorial to practice. And I practiced on video, photography, editing and stuff like that, which was dope.
Well, it's cool because you got this trifecta thing going on, and that's just only going to give you more clientele. I mean, just because you're a jack of all trades now, but you're still a master. I would consider you a master of photography. And I've been getting a lot of positive feedback of the video that you did on my Instagram, even though like that was just a promo and not necessarily
that was a promo. Like
intro.
Now that I look at it now, like people will see it, like random people, you show it to them, it's like, oh, this is great, and I'm looking at it, I'm like picking out stuff that I could have improved. Because when I was shooting with the camera I have right here, everything was on automatic. Yeah. So the computer was doing all this stuff in the background, and that's why I wasn't able to get the feel that I wanted. Even though it looked great, I did the best that I can. But turns out I wasn't shooting everything manually. Yeah. Like the manual focus, everything, the color grading and stuff like that.
Well,
And plus, like with this camera, this is like a basic DSLR, so it doesn't really shoot that great in the dark. Luckily, we were at the Chinese Lantern Festival, so everything was pretty well lit. But at dark, you get a lot of grain and digital noise.
Well, I feel like a lot of your style photography, and correct me if I'm wrong, is contingent upon like really limited light sources. Like you do a lot of shots in front of neon where like everything else is dark.
Yeah,
or like of shots of like scrolling LED screens where like your subject is lit specifically by lighting that's like not. It's not all encompassing. Like it's lighting that is very mild, but it outlines your subject enough to like keep the viewer's interest. Like I feel like that's your specialty.
Right, like people have told me like my account's very dark and moody. Yeah. Which is the vibe I go for, but like there are times where
that's a popular style of photography right now.
Well, yeah, it is right now, but there are times where when I do portrait shots, I got to do kind of like brighten it up and stuff like that. And, like there are shots that are bright and well lit.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was like very high like bright colors, high contrast, pops in your face, which was cool at the time when I started, but then I realized I didn't like it anymore. So
we did the really high contrast where you can see like all the details on people's faces, like that kind of thing where it's like the light illuminates like even like the creases in the skin.
Right, which was cool at the time, but it wasn't just the style I liked.
That
personally.
Style of photography is always good for photographing clouds and like the sky and stuff. Like
that like
makes
landscapes,
landscape makes it look sick.
Nature,
but
wildlife.
People sometimes it makes them look really scary.
Right. So that's when when you're editing, you're flattening out the blacks, you're muting the colors and stuff like that.
In Adobe Lightroom is what you're using now,
Adobe Lightroom. I don't use Photoshop. Photoshop is for like special effects.
Yeah, that is more of a graphic design kind of thing.
Yeah,
if I may be so bold,
Yeah, it is. It's basic when it comes to graphic designs, but it can make your photos more appealing if you want to go for like a fantasy type thing.
Yeah.
You've seen the engagement photo I did with my buddy Joel.
That one's sick, man.
Yeah, so
is that on your website?
No, I didn't put it on the website yet.
Do you have their permission to do that?
I got their permission.
That's a selling point.
I know. There. I got their permission, but I haven't because I'm still redoing my website. It's up right now, but I need to add more content to it.
No, I feel you.
But I did ask their permission. They were cool with it. Joel and his girlfriend Leanna, really cool. Well, fiance now. So what I did was it's pretty cool. I got this. I watched a tutorial on how to make objects float. So this guy said that. Just use fishing line and tape.
But did you? Okay, so I'm gonna explain for people who haven't seen the picture. You should check it out when it's on the website. It's a ring that's literally floating in the palm of the groom, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's floating. Obviously, Jeremy put fishing wire on it, but it looks really, really awesome because it's in the forefront of the picture. It's the subject of the picture. Did you tie it on both ends?
No, what I did was
dangle or just on the top.
What I did was his brother and sister were with us. His family was there.
Yeah.
So I had the kind of like looped it around, like where it has string on both sides, so it just like sits there perfectly. It doesn't dangle. It just stays in a locked position, but you can like maneuver the strings in a certain way where you can get it at a certain angle and a certain height.
Okay.
So I was like, bro, just hold out your hand.
Yeah.
And then I told his sister and his brother on the other side, hold the string tight and put it at I moved their hands around so I can get like the right angle that I liked.
Angle, yeah, which is a great angle.
It
turned out great.
Yeah, well, I was surprised, and I told them hold it tight and don't move. So I took a bunch of shots from there, mainly focused on the ring and kind of added and unfocused on their faces.
Right.
So add that bokeh effect. Yeah.
It looks awesome, and I'm sure that like there's probably a bunch of people that aren't even thinking about doing a wedding picture like that, but would love to have that as like a wedding picture.
Right.
But just to go back to what you were saying, and I'm going way back in our conversation, but you talked about how you watched that promo and everyone thinks like, hey, like it's not bad, like it's pretty cool, but you think to yourself like, I could have changed all these things. Bro, that's how I feel every day at my job. Right. I just got done editing the On Tour episode featuring Dawes. I'm not sure if you ever heard of that band.
No, I've seen the stuff you put up on Instagram. So yeah,
I try and promote it, man. But like after like I spend literally like 8 hours a day like editing an episode that's 28 minutes long, 28 minutes and 46 seconds exactly. Every episode is that same duration, and after I spend so much time editing it, I'm like, dude, there's so much I could change, you know?
Right.
But I was talking about this with my producer. It's just like that's literally for anything, and this is a conversation I think I have on this podcast with you or Brad, but like it goes with what you're making, man. Like you see, obviously, when you're editing a picture, you're just like, I just want to take this little spot out, I just want to use the eyedropper, but you could do that for a whole bunch of other spots, man. I just want to say, man, dude, I really like what you're doing, and I want to encourage you.
You know what's funny? When you mentioned about that Mr. Robot photo I did
which is dope, by the way.
Which was cool. I didn't realize, because when I posted the other photo, my friend was like, bro, it looks like Mr. Robot, which was the guy in the photo. I texted him that photo, and he's like, bro, Mr. Robot.
Was he the skateboard guy?
Yeah, he's the same skateboard guy.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, we chill a lot. We went to Chinatown that night.
Which is great for pictures.
This is great. And what's funny was it was raining, and he was like, bro, I don't want to go. And my other buddy, Luke, pushed us. He's like, bro, reflections on the ground.
Go as in, I don't want to leave?
Like, go is like, I don't want to go there. Like, it was raining at the time.
Yeah.
And my other buddy, Luke, he was like, bro, you don't understand. There was going to be puddles on the ground. It's perfect for urban reflection photography, which is popular on the Instagram.
Yeah.
So we did a bunch of that. Got that whole Mr. Robot thing. What's funny, when you mentioned about it, I re-looked at it again, and I saw some like, I don't want to say glitches, kind of like some
graininess.
Not graininess. It was like,
because you probably pumped up the iris like all the way to get it.
Well, no, what? That. Well, there was a lot of tweaking I did. There was one thing. It was his face. Like, I blacked it out, but if I looked really closely, if I zoomed in, I saw a ring where I blacked out his face.
Oh.
So I didn't blend it into his hoodie, and I was like, you can't tell because I faded the photo.
Right.
But when you zoom in, like probably like 200 times, you'll see like a line.
Right.
Which kind of pisses me off.
That's what I was trying to say. All these things that like you want to fix and post, it's very good to be detail oriented. It's very good to have an accurate eye. But 9 out of 10, you're the only person that notices because you've been looking at it so long.
Right.
Like, nobody is like going to rewind their TV to, like, look at a shot unless they're, like, super skeptic about, like, wait, was that shot reused? Or, like, did that shot have, like, the stunt double in it? People aren't really like that. But, like, the people who create it, you're so conscious of it because you don't want people – in your mind, you're just like, I do not want somebody to be like, yo, I saw what you did there, man. I saw you use the clone tool or the clone stamp in Photoshop to take that out. Like – yeah, like, what do you want, a cookie?
You know what's funny? That night, it was actually 2 days after he had nose surgery.
Yeah. Because
his nasal passes got blocked, so he had surgery. So he had.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It was like an overtime. It happened over time. But what's funny was in that photo.
Yeah.
You will never see it, but because I blacked out his face because I was trying to get that vibe. But he had this huge gauze right here taped to his face.
What?
So, bro, he looked like this. With a white rag taped to his face to prevent bleeding. So he looked like this the entire night.
He's just like a ninja.
Which was funny. So
I mean, listen, it turned out good. And for people who are listening, like, oh, I haven't seen these pictures, go on Joseph Media, the Media House Instagram. It's Joseph Media House Instagram.
It's just right? Joseph Media House.
Go on those, and you'll see exactly which ones we're talking about. Those are like the two latest. Well,
I post every day. That's the thing.
Every day.
So it's probably like a week back, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just saying that. Bro. But it's a dope picture.
It was literally that was I got 2 of them actually. Yeah, this one, Mr. Robot, and then I got
that one's awesome.
Mr.
It's a great account, so I'd go follow that, man.
Red Hood, yeah.
Oh yeah, your Red Hood one with the light was hitting it. Yeah. Man. Did you mean like Red Hood, like after the Batman character?
Yeah, that's why. Because people like, oh, Little Red Riding Hood, like I was like, oh, I didn't realize that, because I realized that when I posted it, like probably like an hour later. It's like, oh, the people are going to think about that nursery rhyme or that little story, but I was like, no, I meant like Jason Todd.
Yeah. Speaking of Batman characters, man, a while ago, probably 2 years from now, I took a personality quiz. You ever take one of those?
Like those things on BuzzFeed is like, what type of pizza are you?
No, I'm talking about the Myers-Briggs one that they used to work for, used for like employment, and I had my personality type, and it was weird, man. I'm not usually like into like tests that like test your personality because I don't feel that you can accurately be surmised in like 16 personality types. But
based on like 120 questions.
Yeah, I got my combination though. Like my combination's INFJ, and I started like looking at characters and people in reality that have the same personality. It's very interesting because I was just like, what? Like, have you ever got your combination or anything like that?
I've never done a personality test.
Oh, you should totally take one.
I've done more BuzzFeed quizzes than personality tests.
No, bro. You need to take a Myers-Briggs. I mean, I wouldn't take it and have the result be taken so seriously.
Right, do it for fun.
But I would take it and just be like, is this me? And read about it. Because it's weird because if you answer honestly and not idealistically,
right,
you know, it's weird how much it actually gets right.
It's
like
kind of
my brother took it and it sums him up pretty well.
It's kind of like when you find your, what was it, the astronomical sign? I'm a Libra. But I really don't believe in those type of things.
Well, man, this one's more based off like your
Astrology.
behavior and your perception of the world, and it's actually it's nothing new. It's been around for a long time. But like I took it, and next time you come on, I want you to have already taken it, and I want to talk about yours, man, because like I feel like I kind of know what you would be. Like I don't know the exact code, but I know like the title of what it is.
Right.
So it'd be interesting.
Where would I go?
Just look up Myers-Briggs personality test. Yeah. You might even, I don't know, dude. You should just take it on the podcast. We'll have an episode for it maybe later. But.
Maybe, yeah, we'll see. It depends on how long did it take.
You're supposed to take only 12 minutes to do it because if you think about it too much, you're probably giving the wrong answer.
All right, so just like quick,
rapid fire. It's all scenario-based questions.
Okay.
This one was really weird. It was like, I'll ask you this question then. The room is completely packed. It's full of people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you stand in the middle of the room or do you go to closer to the wall?
Closer to the wall.
Right.
That's me.
That's me too.
Cause
why? But see, what's your reasoning for that?
Because like just in case, like if I don't feel comfortable,
right?
Which probably 9 times out of 10, like I hate crowded rooms or crowded places. I just want to get out and get some breathing room.
Exactly. I'm the exact same.
Plus,
way.
like. Logically, like, what if a fire breaks out?
Right.
I don't want to be trampled. I want to be close to the exit.
See, my brother answered the opposite. He's like, I'm cool with being in the middle of the room. So it's just like, but that's like an EI question.
Right.
More people who are extroverted, those people would tend to be in the center of the room. I consider myself to be more introverted. I'd be next to the wall. You see what I'm saying? And that through those series of questions, that's how it gauges you.
Right.
What you are exactly. And then it's cool because you can look up like, oh, like here's some other people, man. But you know, some corny stuff. It's some internet stuff. But speaking of internet stuff, man, I feel like I see the spinner stuff all over the place. What's your opinion on that? And for those of you who, if you live
honestly,
under a rock, the spinners are those little like tiny like propeller things that people have on their fingers.
It's like kind of like those. It's made for kids with ADHD, kind of like calm them down and center them. But what's funny is
it made for kids with ADHD?
Honestly, honestly, if you fidget a lot, like instead of pen chewing or like pen tapping, fidget spinners actually work pretty well, honestly.
You think so?
Cause like I actually I intern at a church right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of teenagers that have it. So I was like, one of them had it, and like I was like playing around with it. I was like, yo, this is pretty relaxing. I was just like bouncing it on one finger, watching it spin. It's pretty cool. And like the kids had like different glow in the dark ones, one that light up and change colors. So like they're pretty cool. I mean, at the end of the day, I just think of it as a toy.
I mean,
it's a toy pretty much.
I look at it like this though. It's a toy. You're exactly right.
Or it can replace like a stress ball or something like that.
Right. It's a toy, but it's a fad. And I just picture like this fad passing and there being like a landfill just like full of these.
Remember we were in high school. Remember the like animal and like star shaped rubber bands,
bro,
silly bands.
That was like middle school. You would like trade them with people and stuff.
Yeah, you trade them and stuff like that.
I never had those. I felt so left out. It was just like when I was in kindergarten. I didn't have Crazy Bones. Everybody had Crazy Bones.
I didn't have Crazy Bones.
All right, same. I was just like, bro, like, isn't this just like marbles? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's weird how like this keeps happening, and I think in like this day and age of just like everything being an app, it's still interesting how people buy physical things. But this is what I was getting at with this fidget thing. What were you about to say actually?
About the.
Or were you about to say anything? I don't know. I feel like I cut you off.
I don't know. Good transition. We're on a good transition.
This is actually to my point is that I feel like the whole cause of like this whole fidget obsession is how our attention span is so small now that we need to constantly be doing something. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's not even people that have ADHD now. It's just like everybody's so used to having their phone. Because think about it. Dude, is there ever a time where you just like put your phone down and like you just like sit?
Bro.
Like when you're on a bus, you have your phone.
Going off of that, I was CJ's a car dealer, so you know that. So I was with him at his dealership Saturday, and after lunch, he went to the bathroom, and then he calls out to me. He was like, "Bro," I'm like, "What?" "Get my phone." I'm like, "Why?" I was like, "I need it." I was like, "Why?" So I'm gonna be bored in here. I was like, and then it clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is the definition of our generation or younger.
But let's be honest, man. Who goes to the bathroom nowadays and doesn't have their phone?
Everybody has their phone.
Everybody has their phone. I said that in front of my dad. I was like, yo, like I'm. He's like, when did you send the email? I was like, oh yeah, I was in the bathroom. He's like, wait, you bring your phone in the bathroom? I was like, yeah. He's like, what? He's like, that's gross. I was like, I feel like everybody does.
Bro,
that.
like
Unless
there
right
were so
now.
many so many times where like Pete would FaceTime me or I would FaceTime him and we'd be, like either he'd be on the toilet or I'd be on the toilet.
That's too much stuff. I think you just divulged too much, man.
Well, I mean,
I've never FaceTimed somebody on the toilet. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. But that's kind of weird, bro.
I mean, it's between me and Pete. We're best friends growing up.
Man, I mean, there's a limit, yo.
It's kind of like the newest of crossing streams if you think about it.
Man,
it's like a new version of crossing streams.
Different strokes for different folks, I suppose, bro. I mean, you could have at least used a fake name to protect the names of the innocent and all that. Man.
Oh no.
But back to this fidget thing, bro. Like, so there's two types. There's the box, and then there's the little propeller one.
See,
which one are you? I guess is the question.
I
use both because I feel like you're
the fidget spinner is cool, though the spinner one. But what's funny is CJ has the box one with the clicker and like the joystick and stuff like that. I actually like that one better because there's a lot more things to do. And like what's funny is like I mainly like the joystick part of it.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're playing a video game or like kind of like
oh yeah,
whatever.
I feel you. No. There's something when I was a kid like. There's something satisfying about moving a joystick around. I guess people who grew up with like PlayStation and Xbox would kind of be more likely to use that little box thing.
It's very relaxing.
I haven't tried it, man. Like, I haven't tried it because this is why. First off, I'm just not like into having.
I'm not gonna buy it anyway.
Of course, man. I heard that like they're $20, which is crazy,
what? Bro. Oh my! I literally those little things that makes it spins are basically skateboard bearings glued together.
Bro, you're right. And think about it, man. People, it's just like it's like a tech deck.
Like my buddy Luke and Chris, they literally can make a bunch of them for free because they have so many bearings from their old skateboards.
Right, man. But like, here's what I'm trying to say. Isn't it like one of those things that like you look at this and you look at its success and you look at how profitable it is and you look at how people are buying it so casually and you think to yourself like, if only I thought about this because just like you said, it's so simple to build, bro. It's so simple to make and it's selling like hotcakes. Like I saw this meme on Instagram. No, it wasn't a meme actually. It was a video of these guys in New York, these peddlers. It was on New York Nico's Instagram account. If you know that Instagram account's lit. And it was dudes on the street and they were selling these spinners and it was a sign and it said, "We don't know what these are or what they do. All we know is they sell like crack." That's what it said. It was just a big sign and they were just standing out there with them. And it's the truth, man. Like, who could have predicted this? You know, I look at the latest thing and I'm like, who saw this coming, man?
Right. Like, if it's like it's kind of like you see it and you're like, dang, if I had the power to go back in time, steal the idea, and release it a month before whoever released it, and then make my $1 million.
I gotta do research, man. I gotta see if that existed beforehand.
I think. I mean, maybe this. It was just.
Do you guys have your internet browser up? I mean, I'm not trying to make it.
Yeah, I got it up. So,
but like, see if like the spinner actually existed like before it came out. Because I think like you're right. The stress ball's been around.
History.
But is there anything else that like
stress ball? My goodness, the internet's great here. Yeah. Oh wow, they already have a Wikipedia page. Is this type of stress relieving toy? Origin. Apparently, this guy or this lady actually, Catherine Hedinger, chemical engineer.
Chemical engineer.
She was a chemical engineer. Apparently, is the so-called creator of this fidget spinner.
What?
Back in '93.
Really?
I guess.
So that's like a 23-year, 24-year.
So basically, this is what it says. What does it say? She told the New York Post that the idea came from when she saw boys throwing rocks at police officers in Israel. In response to seeing that, she wanted to develop a soothing toy that could help children release pent-up energy and promote peace.
Wow. Oh. No. I was thinking of like Gandhi's pinwheel. I was thinking maybe that was an inspiration.
But yeah, it became popular as of last year, obviously, and now it's considered the must-have office toy of 2017.
Think about how crazy that is. They made that almost 24 years ago, and just now it's popping off.
Right.
I don't know. That gets me inspired.
Apparently,
man.
it's what they
Never give up, people.
What's funny is they refer it as a fad, and they compare it to the water flipping thing of last summer. You know, everybody was flipping water bottles.
Oh,
tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like the next fad after that, like in that line.
That water bottle flipping thing was annoying. I don't.
What was that song they always play after? That rap song. I am the one they want to call fire. No need to get respect off these streets.
Oh my gosh, man. It's just, I don't know, dude. I guess it's kind of inspiring, man. That's something that you made in 1993 is just now popping off. Like, I'm sure she's still alive. I'm sure she's profiting.
Maybe I don't know if she's getting the profits. Maybe somebody saw the idea,
right,
and then recreated their own version and
true.
put it out there. Because apparently, like, a bunch of creators, like on Etsy, have it out, and they're like, "Oh, we're the original creators." It's just like with these type of things.
It's probably, it's like it belongs to everybody now.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, honestly,
anybody can make it.
Yeah, all you need is 4 bearings. That's it, and glue them together and just spin.
I saw there's like YouTube videos now that like people are there's one guy who was like how to make a spinner with razor blades. Like, it's just people get a hold of it and it just becomes a crazy thing.
Just one bearing, and he had like 2 blades on the side and just spinning it. I'm like, bro, you're gonna cut yourself.
Of course, man. Like,
there was a Batman battering one, which was pretty cool.
I saw that. That's probably the one that's probably gonna sell the most. I can't believe we're spending so much time on something so dumb. It is just so jarring to me, man. Like, I don't know.
Just grinds your gears.
It doesn't grind my gears. I'm happy for that person, but it's at the same time I'm just like, why? I couldn't
think of that.
No, that, and it's just like I could have never predicted that this would be something that blew up. So, the other thing I saw on the internet today, man, was and this one's not funny, but it's kind of shocking. It's this seal. Look up seal grabs little girl on YouTube and just watch that and tell me what you think. This was on Barstool Sports this morning. I also had somebody send this to me in a text.
Seal, not the singer. Grabs
That'd be an awkward
girl.
Video.
Okay. Let's see. Sea lion grabs girl from pier and drags her underwater.
Put the volume up. It might just come on your mic.
Okay. Okay. It looks like they're... Oh. Oh! I just fast forward it.
How wild is that?
Yo. She's probably traumatized. Dang. So
pretty insane. So my brother saw this today, and I asked him, I was like, yo, why do you think the seal did that? So people who didn't see the video, man, like this little girl is just like, she's sitting and she's facing away from the seal that everyone's looking at in the water. And this thing comes out of the water and grabs her by the dress and just drags her. It just drags her into the water.
Well, if you see the video, she was kind of teasing the seal. Yeah, she was like kind of like trying to touch it.
Oh.
Yeah, and I guess the seal felt threatened, so
mad?
She turned her back. Yeah, she turned her back and like starts facing her family.
Yeah.
And seal just grabs her dress and just yanks her down, and I guess her grandpa jumps in
saves her,
and saves her, which is crazy.
Heroic, man. This old man.
Otherwise, like that seal would have dragged her at the bottom of the pier.
Ask my brother. My brother's so funny. He was just like, I was like, yo, why do you think the seal did that? He's like, he goes, he was just hungry, bro. He was like, he was just hungry. I was like, there's no way a seal is gonna
if that was in a zoo, that would be like Harambe Part 2.
Well, that was what the caption was on Barstool this morning. It said the animal kingdom is striking back for Harambe or something ridiculous like that. The fact that people still think that's like a joke is just so weird.
What's funny was people.
It's like dabbing. Like, does anyone dab anymore?
No, that people stopped dabbing when Cameron stopped dabbing. Actually, no, some people still dab, but still.
Yeah, I mean, that's Harambe and dabbing are like.
What's funny was people. There are honestly, it scares me sometimes to think that like there are actually groups of people, a certain number of people that wrote down Harambe's name on the entry ballot for the presidential race. I mean, obviously didn't pass through the first selection, the first round, but there was like, Jake, how much was it? like 11,000 people. Like 11,000 people in this country need to experience like the second plague right now because they put in Harambe, a dead ape, to be their president. This is before the top 4.
Second plague, man. Those are some harsh words.
There are times where Jake sends us like funny stuff in our group chat. I'm just like, bro, we need a second plague.
I mean, this is the country that we live in, man. All I gotta say about that is, I mean, that ship has sailed, man. And we don't get political here on Andrewcast, but you know,
that's the only. I think that's the only political thing we've gone on.
Probably, man. I mean, you know, that's just the country we live in. But check it out.
How do we go off from that?
I don't know, man. But like, you know, you're pretty much free to do what you want to do,
which is kind of scary.
Do what they want to do, but again, it's just that whole internet culture. It's like Harambe blew up because of the internet, and I have a friend that takes that very seriously.
Like, is he a Harambe fan, or just
no,
like the idea of like things blowing up so easily?
He's an animal activist,
okay,
I guess you could say, and he's like sensitive about that. And so there's a whole bunch of different opinions on that thing, and still today it's controversial, but it's just wild because, you know, at the end of the day it's a gorilla, but there's a huge uproar. And I talked about this before. I broke down that whole thing. I think it wouldn't make any sense to break it down now, just almost a whole year after the fact. But what do you I know you're gonna say something. I have another point.
Well, it's a new transition. It's a new topic, but I want you to finish this one because I want to enter into this new topic.
I'm wondering if it's the same topic I'm about to say. Does it have to do with monkeys?
No.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Dude, the new Planet of the Apes movie trailer.
Oh,
did you see that?
No, I didn't even know they released that.
Dude, no, it's coming out this summer.
Okay.
Did you see the first 2?
I probably saw the first. I saw the first one or the second one. I forget.
Nah,
I get them confused.
Check out the trailer for the new one because it looks amazing. It's just monkeys and people going to war. It's just gonna make an awesome movie.
Oh no! I do remember.
Yeah.
It was like I remember now. It's like UN soldiers versus
the monkeys. Orangutans, gorillas. Like, this is a great idea for a movie.
Talk about guerrilla warfare.
Oh jeez, we're gonna have to get a new guest. But no, that's something I'm looking forward to seeing, man. I think Planet of the Apes is just a really cool concept where it's just like the monkeys get super intelligent and they fight people.
Right.
But like, dude, if you were to fight a monkey like,
well, you'd lose.
People don't understand. Like, if you were to fight a monkey like one-on-one, like people are like, oh, bro, I'd punch that chimpanzee out.
No.
Nah.
No, bro. When you agitate them, they're quick, they're fast. They bite.
You ever see that lady's face that got attacked?
Yes,
it's all puffed up.
Yes, I saw like she had it was like a 2020 on her.
Yeah,
I forget, it was 2020 or some interview, and like her face was like gnarly after the surgery. I was like, dang, like her nose was off.
Really?
Like she had no nose.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that picture you're talking about, dude. They say, and I've heard about this. You know how like they flash their teeth like that?
That's they're threatening you. He's like, see these teeth? I'm gonna bite you.
But some people don't understand that. So
they're not smiling. It's like, oh, he's smiling. No,
so
you idiot.
Back. The thing is, if you smile back, it's a challenge. Like, they're like, oh, for real?
For real?
Like, that's when they get like aggressive. It's so crazy, man.
Try and go. I
heard that actually, like the chimps that you see in movies and stuff, they're all younger than 8 years old.
Yeah, they're babies.
Once they reach 8. They cannot be trained. Like, the training just goes out. You can train most other animals, right?
Right.
Obviously, you could train a horse. You can even train, like, tigers and lions and stuff.
Right.
When it comes to chimpanzees, once they reach that age, it's like, nope. And, like, they become ruthless,
because, like, technically, by 8, they're kind of like young adults. So they're, like, you can't do anything about it. They're just going to do whatever they want. Because, like, when they're kids, like, under the age of 8, you can pretty much, like, control them and have them do what you want to do, but at that point you can't.
Exactly, man. But me and my brother were talking the other day about how much money it would take to fight a gorilla for 15 minutes, and I was just like, I feel like by minute 2 you'd already be dead if like you were really fighting the gorilla.
I was like no, a gorilla.
I was like,
bro,
for 15 minutes, like, how much money would it take for you to get inside a cage with a gorilla?
Like, you don't have to hit it, just at least evade it.
You gotta hit it. You have to fight it. You don't have
hit
to beat it.
What about hit it once?
Like, beat it, but you have to fight it.
Like, punch it and like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get hurt either way. How much?
Bro, I don't think there's enough money in the world, cause like the thing is, I'm gonna end up in a wheelchair with no limbs. Bro, they're strong. They could probably rip my arm off.
It's crazy, man. It's just so wild. But yeah, that's why I think Planet of the Apes is such a great concept, man. Who doesn't want to see people fighting monkeys? I think it's hilarious. What were you about to say before I went on that weird tangent?
The rompers for guys.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. All right, so first off, I said this before in the group. I think this is a myth because I've never seen anybody wear it. I've never seen anybody.
No, this is new. This is like literally new. Like I've never seen it too. But there was a meme that I saw. It was like, you guys act like rompers for men just came out when Steve Irwin has been rocking it for years.
Did he?
Well,
really
no,
wear
it was just a khaki shirt and a khaki shorts.
So
but it's just like they're both the same exact color, so it looked like it blends into a romper.
And he wears his pants so high up it looks like a romper.
But like I've seen so many videos where comedians, like Facebook or Instagram comedians, they're like, "Yo, you would never catch me doing that." Like, this dude was hilarious. He was like, "Bro, you'll never catch me wearing a romper. Like, I would have to be butt naked just to take a pee. That ain't happening. It's not gonna happen where like you're never gonna catch me saying like, "Hey, honey, have you seen my romper? Have you seen? Oh, you threw it in the wash, babe. I have no romper to wear."
I feel like this is what when I saw that whole thing, I was like, "This is never gonna happen on the East Coast. It's not an East Coast.
That's a West Coast.
That's
thing.
a West Coast.
That could stay out there like in and out."
all those pictures, man, they were taken in California, and no shade on California. I'm just saying that stuff's not gonna fly here. Like you're not gonna go to New York and see a dude in a romper. That's why I feel like those memes aren't relevant, and that's why I had that initial reaction, which is like, is this really happening or is this a joke? But like, man, have you ever seen the episode of Boondocks with Thug? Have you ever watched Boondocks on Adult Swim?
I've seen a few episodes, but I'm
gonna take a shot in the dark here. Yeah. You might say no, but did you ever see the episode of Boondocks where Thugnificent comes out? No, it was Gangstalicious. Gangstalicious is this fictitious rapper on
the show
on Boondocks. Yeah, that's supposed to be a parody of pop culture rappers, and he makes his own clothing line for guys. But the twist is like the clothing line is actually like girls' clothing, but like guys wear it. And
I feel like, was he making fun of Young Thug?
He was making fun of somebody, man. But like this is dated, so it's not like that season came out in like 2008. But like the message of the episode's still true today. And Riley, who's like one of the like main characters who tries to be hip, he's like, "Yeah, man, check out my gear, blah blah." And Huey's just like, "You're wearing a dress, right?" He's like, "Nah, man." He's like, "This is gangster." He's like, "This is what Gangstalicious wears, man." And I feel like it's like that. It's like with these whole fads and trends and stuff, it just depends on who wears it. Like if you're telling me if Kanye West wore that, man, that like everybody wouldn't wear it.
People would wear it.
Right.
I mean, there is a line. Like there are a lot of clothes I would not wear from Kanye's line.
I'm not wearing anything with holes in it.
Yeah.
What's the attraction in that?
Well, no. There's ripped jeans. I just got to.
Yeah, no shame on you. I want to see like what do you think it's cool?
Like I like the concept because I just bought a sleeveless hoodie. Mm-hmm. But it has like rips holes in it, but it's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's like it's fashionable.
Yeah, it's fashionable.
It's fashionable, okay. And you wear a long tee under it. Like it looks great. But the stuff that he wears that kind of looks like you're a homeless person in New York City down in Hell's Kitchen. Like it's different. But the only thing I pretty much really like from Kanye's line is his shoes.
Of course,
the Yeezys, bro. They're a classic. They're pretty much gonna be a classic forever.
Do you have a pair?
Bro, I wish. Ricky won a pair of cream Yeezys in a contest.
What kind of contest? Was it a sweepstakes? Did he like enter his name?
I guess. I don't know. But all I know is he got a pair of Yeezys. I would have sold that immediately.
Wait, cream Yeezys as in white Yeezys? They make those?
Yeah, it's the newest one that came out this spring.
Dang, man.
If I won them in a contest, I'd immediately sell them. I'll be on. I don't know.
I'm not gonna wear them because what if I mess them up? Then I'm just gonna.
That's true. They're so nice.
Yeah.
Like, and I live on the East Coast where everything's pretty much dirty outside.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I can't walk down like the streets of Philly without getting like dirt or mud or some like.
That would be an indoor shoe that like I wear if I'm going to like an event or something like that.
Right. Like if I'm going to a party, I would not wear that to a club.
I wouldn't wear it to a club, but if I was going to like a low key kind of party,
like a lounge or a party or like a house party, I'd go.
I'm not. I see people walking around outside with Yeezys. I'm like, you know how much that costs?
I'm like,
that's like wearing a Nintendo DS on your foot,
bro. It's like wearing my car.
No, that's an exaggeration. No, but what's that shoe that came out? The like $400 shoe, by that basketball player.
Oh, Lonzo Ball.
Yeah,
Lonzo Ball. Apparently, it's a flop though.
Okay.
I gotta get my facts straight. So.
Yeah. Just bring that up real quick so I can talk about that.
Lonzo Ball shoes.
Oh my goodness, man! All right, so this dude, I don't follow basketball, so forgive me, but this guy, his son came out with his own basketball shoe line, right?
LeVar Ball, yeah.
And
LeVar Ball is the father, and Lonzo Ball is the college basketball player.
And he came up with this shoe, and how much is the shoe? Did you have the exact price?
Yeah, it's marked price by $495 sold by his family's Big Baller brand.
All right. Okay. His shoe is $495.
Jordan doesn't even sell that high. I mean, Jordan does have pricey shoes, but $500 for a dude who nobody has seen play in the NBA yet, not even a practice game, who he hasn't even been drafted. He didn't even enter the draft.
Okay. All right. Well, let me just break this down. There are people in this world who are Jordan aficionados. Mm-hmm. They love Jordans. Like they eat, sleep, and breathe Jordans. And that's an established brand that's like known for quality and greatness, right? And so if there was to be a pair of $500 Jordans that came out, people would be like, I can't buy it. But there'd be people that like, yo, I'm a Jordan collector. Like I'm a Jordan fanatic.
Like
yeah,
couple like $500, maybe even $1,000
pair of Jordans.
I'm not sure.
People would do it because it's already an established brand. Like it's already known for greatness. It's already a cultural icon. Like, so people would be like, "Yo, I'll drop $1,000 on these shoes because I'm a collector." Not everybody would do it. I certainly wouldn't do it. Yeah. But sneakerheads would do it, right? Yo, you try and come into the sneaker game, man, and your base price is $500. You're not impressing anybody. You're not impressing anybody, and your point is right because that person doesn't have really any a lot of credibility yet. And I'm not dissing anybody. I'm just talking about what it is to like the outside consumer and why no one's gonna buy that shoe, because no one's gonna drop $500 on like a brand that's not established. That's like you making something and being like, yo, I got this dope T-shirt. It's pretty dope, right? $60. Like, yeah, what Jeremy Joseph like media house like clothing line? You do photography, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you're an athlete. All I gotta say about this is like
you have to be established in a house. You gotta be a household name, pretty much.
It makes me so angry because of the nerve that this person has. Like, and what did that guy say? That's. It's
not even Lonzo Ball, like who's the cocky one. The kid is like he's chill. It's just his father.
His dad. What did he say? He's like, you're not a baller unless you can afford these.
He said, if you can't afford the ZO2S, you're not a big baller. And
listen, man. If the catchphrase for your product is, yo, unless you have this, you don't have a lot of money, you lose. And what's crazy is that guy's going to lose so much money. And I hate to see people fail, but I'm actually kind of satisfied by this because, like, it's greed. There's no other reason. Funny is, do you think that shoe costs, like, even close to...
I mean, Lonzo Ball is a great ball player. I mean, he is predicted to be in the top 5 in the NBA draft this year.
Yeah.
But I would be cracking up if he doesn't make the top 20.
Right. Listen, man...
I'll be hilarious. I'll be crying if he makes it. He gets drafted after the first round, like in the second round or after.
I'm just tight about these shoes, man. I mean,
they only sold like 500 pairs. Like, how many pairs?
They sold these
500 pairs.
People bought them
in the first week.
500 pairs? That's still a lot.
That's still a lot, but I mean, compared
people
to Jordan,
buy those.
I'm thinking
probably you know who bought those? Probably that rich guy that bought that Wu-Tang album. Who's that rich guy that like is bothering all these hip hop people, and he leaked what's his face's album?
Oh,
Drake. Didn't he leak Drake's album or something like that?
You're talking about
white dude, scary looking guy. He almost looks like one of the Who's from a Dr. Seuss movie.
White guy.
And he has. Are you actually googling like my description of him? Because it's not really an in-depth description, but the guy with the billions, he got the limited edition Wu-Tang album. I'll explain that whole scenario. So
go ahead.
But okay, so there's a Wu-Tang Clan made this album that they never ever released to the public, and like they kind of put it in this metaphorical vault where like nobody would ever listen to it, and they put a price of like $11 million, something crazy on it, and it's like this is the only copy of the album that was ever made. And it's up for grabs for like any hip hop billionaire that like wants to get a piece of hip hop history. So,
Martin, people Shrekley leaks $2 million Wu-Tang album.
Right. Oh, he leaked it.
He leaked it.
Okay, that's good because I think people were hoping like
I don't know if he leaks it or he shared snippets of it.
It was $2 million. So,
but apparently he got it.
It wasn't $11 million. It was a $2 million hip hop album that was like the only copy of it ever. And people were hoping that like when he bought it, he would share it. But I think initially he didn't. And it just really
he got
people
arrested
mad.
because of that.
Why?
I think it shows a picture of him being handcuffed by the FBI.
Really?
Yeah.
He's just not a good dude. Like from what I hear, he leaks people's albums and stuff like that. Like he does weird stuff. If this is the guy I'm thinking about. He has black hair, right? He looks like a little seedy. Yeah, why don't you show it to me?
The guy in the middle.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah, he's a
weird. He's a weirdo.
But yeah, apparently he leaked it because he was celebrating the Trump election.
Oh, really?
So literally, I think when Trump won, he released it right after just to celebrate. That would piss me off if I was an artist and I had like this special album that I kind of like. Imagine if he did that to Michael Jackson with his unreleased songs. Thankfully, that record company released Michael Jackson songs in that his last album.
Yeah.
But fans would want him burned if he did that to Michael Jackson.
It's true, but I guess like in this case, what he's doing, as reprehensible as a lot of the other stuff he does may be, he's kind of like Robin Hood in this situation where he's like finally giving all these Wu-Tang Clans
or like the
fans this
Edward
album.
Snowden.
Yeah, something like that, man. I mean, he's what he's doing in Wu-Tang isn't right because essentially he's stealing from them. But at the same time, like I'm sure the fans are happy to get this unreleased stuff. I don't know, it's a complicated situation. Anyway, this dude, I feel like he messes with like a lot of rappers and stuff and like tries to leak people's stuff, and he's just a seedy guy. And
yeah,
I don't know, man. People are just so sensitive about stuff nowadays, and
well, yeah, I can understand if you work hard and you wanna hold it off. If you create something like an art piece or something, but you want to hold off for a while, and it's not the right time to release it,
right?
And then somebody somehow sees it and takes it and just throws it out there for the open.
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of like being pantsed.
It is.
It's like being pantsed in public, like bro.
The problem is now that like once you leak that just a little bit, like now everybody has it. Like I'm sure I could go up on YouTube right now and find it.
YouTube or some crevice of the internet.
So that essentially the problem there is that Wu-Tang Clan is a huge hip hop collective, right? And that guy paid $2 million for the album. Wu-Tang Clan could be making so much more money distributing it now, obviously because it's out, but that's just out of their hands. Basically, they made a $2 million album. You know what I'm saying?
That's like Kanye West like releasing a new shoe, but like some company in China like finds the original designs, sells them at half the price, and Kanye's like, hey, who wants to buy my new shoes? Well, we bought your shoes 6 months ago from this Chinese company for half the price.
This calls them like Beezies, you know what I'm saying?
Beezies or
it's crazy, man. Yeah, he's a
Cheesies.
He's like a real life villain, man. He's like Loki from like the Avengers. Nah, people think Loki's cool. He's like a not cool guy.
He's
trying to be cool. He thinks he's a billionaire and like that he's in with rappers that like that he's like, oh, like look at me, like I have like an album and stuff like that. But he can't even keep that to himself. And who does that like to celebrate Trump? Like, yo, Trump's president. Here's the Wu-Tang Clan album. Sorry, Wu-Tang Clan.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It's just a bad move.
I'm just like, really?
I don't know, man. Anything else you want to bring up, man? We got like a little bit of time. Probably like 10 more minutes.
Anything new you're gonna be working on?
We got
besides WHYY.
We got chapter 4 of the comic coming out this month, and I've been doing this thing where I'm trying to crowdfund the comic because there's a lot of shots. Yeah, there's a lot of shots in chapter 4 where there's large masses of people, like a lot of people that are like watching the events of what's going on in the frames. And so now I'm offering people to donate to the Patreon page, which is the Ribbon Patreon. You can look it up. Just search the Ribbon on Patreon. And if you give a pledge of $5, I'll actually draw you into the comic as a cameo. Ooh. I've already had 2 people do it.
That's dope.
One of them's been on this podcast, Slacks, the guy from Say Less.
Slacks and who was the other person?
My boy Titus Knox. He donated. So I'm trying to get people. I'm trying to give that information out so people can like check it out if they want to, man. And $1 gets you credits in the chapter when I publish it. You get into the special thanks. You get your name in there if you donate $1. And I feel like that's kind of the new way to do it. I'm doing art, but I'm opening up to like my friends and family to support me if they want to. And
that's good. That's
it's
very
dope,
good,
man. So like that's what I'm doing besides this podcast and besides work, man. I'm drawing like a lot, and it's relaxing to me. It's kind of like the way you feel about photography and going on shoots. That's how I feel about sitting and drawing.
Really.
Stress relief, man, and just
It really is stress relief when
down.
you as a creator, illustrator, designer, when you're in your element and when you're just designing, doing whatever you do that you love, it's very relaxing. Like the world kind of like shuts out, and it's like you and the raw element,
Right.
and like you're kind of like dancing with it and like finagling it and trying to make it the way you want it to do, which is pretty cool. Tomorrow, I'm actually meeting up with the company.
Nice.
I'm partnering up with. I have a friend. When I worked at Verizon a year ago, I had a friend. She trained me. She left the company probably like a month after I left, and her husband started a event planning company for private parties, corporate events, weddings, anniversaries, stuff like that.
They're located
Birthdays.
in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Philly based. They're called Posh Creations.
Okay.
Creations with a K. So they're pretty cool. You can check them out on Instagram.
Nice.
Posh Creations, and I'm meeting with her tomorrow, and she's seen my work, and we've talked about this for a while, but we haven't had time because our schedules are different. But tomorrow is actually the only day probably in a while that we'll have the same time frame. So we're meeting up. We're going to talk about merging, partnering, collaborating, stuff like that for the next year or so, because she likes my stuff. She wants me to, like, I talked to her about being an all-inclusive photographer, so whenever somebody signs up for like a wedding and like go through her as a planner, they already got a photographer there.
Sweet. So you'd be operating within their business pretty much.
Yeah, like probably like a basically freelance, like I'm a contractor.
That's good stuff, man, because think about it. You're pretty much going to make all the content for their website.
Right.
And I mean, as you're doing the job, not really going out of your way, because you're going to be recording those events like via photographs, and that's going to be like the mainstay of the website.
Right.
They're probably
cool.
going to do it with like
because like, I'm not going to be under the pseudonym Joseph Media House when I'm doing their events. I'm going to be under as
Posh Creations.
Posh Creations.
All right.
So yeah, we're going to work out the kinks and see how it works. I don't know if they want to say Posh Creations in collaboration with Joseph Media House. That would work fine.
Right.
I really don't care.
It can be a mouthful, though. I feel like maybe that's what they're going for. But
yeah. As long as both parties are happy and like, you know, we're both making money.
Sounds good. I mean, bottom line is that, you know, in my opinion, if it gives you exposure, it's a good thing. So
yeah. I'm technically on vacation right now.
That's
like
good.
This morning I worked and literally just got off. I'm on vacation for like the next 2 weeks.
Sweet.
This Wednesday I'll be in Texas, in South Padre Island for a week. So I'm gonna do a lot of shooting and filming down there, which is dope. My buddies that are photographers and skaters, we're taking a road trip across PA sometime in June or July. Gonna go out to Pittsburgh.
Sweet.
Because we came in contact with photographers and models out there.
Nice.
Shoot with them. Probably go out down to DC, do some urban exploration.
So you're just gonna be shooting
Virginia.
this whole vacation, pretty much.
Literally, my entire summer is gonna be shooting.
I'm excited, man.
Which I can't wait.
I'm telling you, man, the result is gonna be so good. It's just gonna be awesome. You're gonna expand your clientele, and you're just gonna have a whole portfolio of work to show. It's gonna be great.
I mean, it's great. You know, I'm trying to reach out as many people as I can.
Right.
Show my work and stuff like that. What's funny is I even now, like, I'm confident in my work. I even approach random people that I see on the street. And like, hey, what's funny is I need business cards. I don't have business cards. That's the one thing I don't have. I have everything but that.
A ton of websites that do it. I'm fortunate because my job, Vistaprint's the big one. My job did it for me. We have a graphics department at our company and they made business cards for me. But yeah, it's super important, especially if you run to somebody that's like a big wig, man. Yeah. Like, dude, I ran into Steve. I ran into Steve Bloom on the plane, the voice of the Tom Toonami robot, and I didn't have a business card, so I used like my dad's, like, you know what I'm saying. But like, I wanted to tell him, like, yo, I'm trying to work for Cartoon Network, but like, I wish I could go back in time and give like myself, my LA spring break self, a business card, like. So it's important.
Yeah,
to have.
It's
not to be like you should get one. You obviously know to get one, but they're so important.
Yeah, I need to get those. What's fine is like everybody nowadays always have their phone on them, so they're like, oh, what when they hear photographer, it's like, oh, what's your Instagram? They don't even ask for my business card. I was like, oh, you do photography? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you have an Instagram page? Like, yes.
Right.
Direct him to that. Give him my number. I hit him up, and
that's really what I mean. You just and what's cool is that you have graphic design on your side, so you're just gonna make a
and what's cool is with
a dope business card.
What's cool about it is with Instagram, you can put your website on it. Click your website, boom, you see all your work.
Right.
I just opened a YouTube channel to put up my films, all the short films and stuff like that.
You know what you should put on your business card?
What?
One of those like QR codes that when you scan it.
I have actually my old business cards. It was just straight Joseph Media House on the back QR scanner.
And then what video came up?
And no, my website would come up.
Oh man, that's actually a better idea.
That was back in the day.
I was thinking of like doing an intro
because I was
video.
using Visco as a hosting.
VSCO, right?
And
that's like the bougie Instagram,
It's
right?
a bougie Instagram, but I don't like it anymore.
Okay, so like with YouTube, the bougie version of YouTube is
Vimeo,
however you say it, Vimeo. Yeah. And then with Instagram, the bougie version is Visco. What's the pros of using Visco?
Well,
like
Visco,
why do people
Visco,
have both?
The reason why Visco is there, Visco has their own like photo sharing thing, but Visco mainly makes their money off of Lightroom presets and programs, which I have.
Yeah.
I have all of them, which is buttloads of money. It's costing me like close to like $500 for having like close to 300 presets for photos.
Right.
So what they do, it's not a filter. What they do is they tweak your photos to a look that you want.
Okay.
And then you can tweak after that. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I do it manually.
Do you buy a membership to Visco or is it free?
No, it's you can register for free membership.
Okay.
But to buy their products, you'll have to buy it.
All right.
But they mainly make their money off of Lightroom presets from Adobe.
Yeah.
So because they have their own design team, stuff like that. That's how they make their money. There's another thing that's coming out, another site that is another bougie version. It's like the bougie version of Visco, which is 500px.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, 500px.
Okay.
Which is
That's new, you're saying?
It's new. Like I noticed that like a lot of photographers are starting to use it.
Did you make an account?
No, it's 500. It's called the Premier Photography Community. Home to everybody's best photos. Showcase your work. License amazing photos. Stay inspired. So apparently, Visco got off of Instagram.
Hop on, man. That's the wave.
PX, I feel like it's gonna die out soon.
You might as well. The least you can do is just have more people directed to you.
That is true. I'll think about it. I'll have to ask my photography buddies if it's worth it.
500px.
500px.
I gotta check it out, man. I feel like that's a good place to leave off, man. So, anything else you want to say before I close this out?
No, just if you want a photo shoot, like I said, if you want a free photo shoot, reference this episode. And to confirm that, just go on my Instagram account, DM me, say I saw your episode 14.
Yes, 14.
Promo code is what should be Rompers for Guys. That's the promo code.
But yeah, Rompers for Guys, but make the 4 not FOR,
yeah.
the number 4.
Number 4. Romper for Guys.
Rompers for Guys.
So it's kind of like a secret code in this episode. Obviously, you have to watch it to get it. So hit me up. Just say, hey, I saw episode 14.
14 Andrewcast.
Andrewcast, promo code Rompers for Guys.
You gotta say, I'm looking for Rompers for Guys.
Yes, just say, I'm looking for Rompers for Guys.
And Jay will
and then I'll know that you want that free photo shoot.
He'll give you a free
which you'll
photo
get.
shoot.
And also, I can also do a free video shoot for you as well. So it's a little promo I can give to you. Boost up your followings and stuff like that. Make you look nice and fancy.
Photo, video, graphic design. He does it all. Jeremy Joseph, thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you so much.
JosephMediaHouse.com. That's all I got to say.
New website, too.
That's a one-stop shop for all your visual needs.
And that's my slogan, bro. Stay stimulated visually.
Stay stimulated visually. Don't get carried away now. We out.